and excellent organizations, they have a spirit. I want to play around with maybe two extremely well-known passages of Scripture. Ephesians chapter 4. Ephesians chapter 4, this verse here, for his body has been formed in his image and is closely joined together and constantly connected as one. And every member has been given divine gifts. Every member has been given divine gifts to contribute to the growth of all. And as these gifts are imparted and operating effectively throughout the whole body, we are built up and made perfect in love. Paul's saying, there's the Spirit, love. Every part of this body is fitted together, is serving that. The spirit of your church, Ephesus, you got to do this. Everyone work together. And of course, Paul also wrote to the Corinthians. At the end of chapter 12, he said, now I'll show you a more excellent way. And we have chapter 13. I have a feeling we've relegated chapter 13 to something we read at weddings, and we don't realize it's a blueprint for an organization. It's the blueprint for the church. Paul didn't write at the beginning of Corinthians, dear newlyweds. He wrote to the church in Corinth. Now I'll show you a more excellent way. Maybe we could just for a moment let 1 Corinthians 13 be like a metaphor. Like a metaphor. Imagine this. It's, if I can take Chris and he'll forgive me. And if he doesn't, he'll slap me. He does that occasionally. It would be like Chris preaching on the prophetic. But if there's no spirit, he has nothing. That's kind of what that verse is saying. It's like, if I do this, but I'm not serving that, this spirit that Paul is saying, which in this case is love. If I give everything I have to the poor, if I do this, if I do that, you see, you end up with a sum of parts, but they don't serve the whole. This illustration's for you, Eric. I thought about it carefully. I dedicate this illustration to you. Bread and butter. Bread and butter. Now, we talk about bread and butter, don't we? Like it's the ordinary, the mundane. Not when you've eaten good bread and butter, it isn't. The call to Europe was strong. Oh, I don't know, tartan in San Francisco. But you know what? If you put on a plate some yeast, some salt, some flour, some water, and pour some cream on top, it's nasty. It's plain nasty. You know, butter's the simplest thing, isn't it? It's just cream. That's all it is. Whipped up and it becomes butter. Get rid of that junk out of it, that liquid, and you get that beautiful, rich, golden butter. And the bread. I mean, the yeast on its own is disgusting. The salt's terrible. The flour is awful. The water's okay. But they need to work together. They need to work together to create the bread and the butter that Eric, I know, loves so much. See, we need to work together. See, excellent organizations, they have a spirit at the center there of everything they do. They have excellence. Excellence, kingdom excellence, I believe. My contribution to this advance about viewing forwards. Where are you going? What are you building? I want to send you on a journey towards excellence. And excellence has a spirit in the middle that everyone knows to serve. Your ladies and gentlemen serving ladies and gentlemen. Your revivalist janitors serving revivalists who use bathrooms. There's a spirit, there's something. You know, we end up, we have so many messages here, so many pieces, but we need something that draws it all together. And as I start looking at organizations that are successful around the world, I start thinking what they have in common is excellence, and they have a spirit, and they're focused on something. See, excellence. We talk for a moment about excellence. Excellence is sustainable. It is sustainable. Perfection isn't. It's not sustainable. You see, the cry of this house on earth as it is in heaven, the cry of a cancer-free zone is sustainable. But if we just spent a year and said, we have to see success in every cancer case that walks through these doors, and if we don't, we're stopping praying, you see, perfection will end. Perfection's not sustainable. We are drawn by love to excellence. We're drawn, our hearts are drawn. It's a drawing of heaven. But we're driven to perfection. Something inside us drives us. Excellence builds the whole. Perfection wears us out. Excellence points to the king. Kingdom excellence points to the king. It's actually in the word, his excellency. It's there. But perfection points to us. Excellence is not so much what I do, but the heart behind what I do. Perfection is results driven. Excellence knows there is more, yet is satisfied. Perfection is never enough, but is unsatisfied. See, excellence has a spirit that it serves, and everything is aimed and is targeted at serving that. And in this house, it's on earth as it is in heaven.